Digital first.
Again, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. My name is Dorotea Strelec. I will be moderating today's webinar, and we have two speakers with us. I'm representing the project coordinator of Digital First Network project, Algebra University. And our topic today is From Theory to Practice, Rethinking Informatics Education through the Functionalist approach, about which we will tell you a bit more soon. Today we have with us here our colleagues from a partnership from the project. We have Aimilia from T-hap that is joining us from Cyprus. Hello, welcome, and thank you.
Thank you.
And a colleague Špela from Faculty of Education from Slovenia. Hi, Špela, as well.
Hello.
I would just like to give a short introduction about the project and the topic itself. As I said, the name is Digital First Network of the project, and it's an Erasmus Plus project that started in December 2023 and will last until November of next year. The aim of this project is to make digital tech the first language for digital natives, so for children that are now in primary and secondary schools. There are target groups, and we would like to, with this project, adapt education to the needs of these children that are born in digital age. Our aim is also to recognize what children already possess, and they do possess digital skills upon entering schools because they were born with the technology. That's why we're calling them natives, and we would like to adopt the informatics education to be really for them to use its function. We have 11 countries in our consortium and 15 partners. So as I said, here today we have a colleague from Cyprus and a colleague from Slovenia that are joining us, but it's a really large consortium that has various educational institutions, organizations, companies, universities, and schools. And us all together would like to make these changes regarding informatics education. The whole idea is to move away from the traditional informatics education and to not only to be focused as it was before on programming and on technical knowledge, but to give more emphasis on computational thinking. With this, we also include critical thinking as well, and to prepare students students from primary and secondary schools to address real-life challenges, to equip them with this knowledge and functionalist approach, and also to encourage them to be active creators of the digital world, not just the passive consumers. And we really hope that with everything planned and already that we are doing, that we will achieve so. So our objectives, I would just go short about our objectives within the project, is to understand the theory and the practice of teaching informatics at the mentioned two levels across Europe. And we want to do this through research and data collection, which was already being done. And then also our objective is to develop and to test these innovative pedagogical approaches to teaching informatics by piloting it in the countries that we are coming from. We are also defining a competencies catalog for informatics teachers, and the thing that is ongoing is building this informatics teachers support network. Our idea is to involve all stakeholders in shaping this future of informatics education. So we also had dialogue clubs where teachers from all of the countries were joining in dialogue clubs, but also we wanted to include opinions of students and parents in this project as well. So it's really a broad project that aims to collect information and feedback from various stakeholders. So our activities that are being done and will also be done soon. Some of them include research and analysis of current situation in informatics education. And then now we are finishing the development of innovative teaching methods. With dialogue clubs, we are already done, and defining competencies for computer science teachers is also almost finished. But now we're starting, and we're really excited about piloting in selected schools that said that they would like to join and to try these innovative approaches. So with this, we will have teacher trainings for school teachers, and then we will equip them to start pilots in their schools. And also our activities to get more knowledge on the use of learning data that we can collect and to improve informatics education in this sense as well. Why is all this important? We see this as a key to equip every citizen with necessary knowledge to participate in digital world, and we really think that it's necessary for children to gain this knowledge, but to be systematically put in schools, for them to be able to use internet and computers safely, and also to think critically about everything that they consume and use. And for computer science teachers also to help them to better recognize biases in algorithms and how to critically evaluate information on the internet, and to also work on this with their students as well. And all in all, we would just really like for them to be active creators of content, as I already said, and we hope that this will really help them with their further education, not only informatics education, but education in general, because they use now digital technology in almost every aspect of their life. And here we have this innovation, which is moving from structural approach to functionalist approach, because in history of teaching, it was usually being taught in this structural way. But we would like to move away from this traditional approach and emphasize and put focus on the functionality of computer science and its application in various contexts and things they use. So we have these 7 functions about which you will hear more later on. But we see this as really something needed and a change that will really be useful, and not just some theory or some knowledge that is there, but will not really help them. That's why we have these functions that are mentioned here, and we see it as really something that a future of informatics should look like. And we have various activities for children in gaining this knowledge and getting to know the functions, from various workshops, demonstrations, and similar activities that they will use in the piloting, because we see it as something that will enable them to organize themselves better in classes as well, to be better organized in a way that each student will be actively involved, and they will have concentration about a certain topic, because it will be really close to them and something they can relate to and see the use of it. And then we hope that they will stay motivated and increase their critical thinking and develop more ideas as well, imagination, and things that they can really work on. And we hope that it will boost their creativity and problem solving, and all other skills, even entrepreneurial skills that will help them later on in life to learn how to be more adaptable to changes, how to work in groups, smaller and bigger ones, and on their own as well. To create a really pleasant atmosphere, which is not really, maybe in that sense, really learning as such, that is something of a burden, but that there is really something for them to take. And yeah, I would like to finish with a quote that we use from the start of the project. It's about these digital natives, the children that we work this for. They're not adopters of digital tech. They were born into the digital world. This means that we cannot approach them in the same way as we did with students who were digital migrants, because I think all of us here were and are digital migrants, that we were born before all of this technology, and we had to learn and adapt. And for them, it's something really natural. They already have lots of knowledge, but we can help them, and we should make education really more functionalistic for them in that sense. So I would not take more of your time with our project, because it's really broad one, but I would like to invite you all to follow us on our social media and our webpage, and you can subscribe to our newsletter to hear more about the things that we will also do in the next period. I would now like to stop sharing to see you all. In case someone has any questions, you can ask now, raise hands, or you can write in the comments, so we can also at the end of the webinar provide you answers. And then if no one is now raising their hand, I would like to give my word to Aimilia to start her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I'm here today because I myself initially I have been a primary school teacher, and then I became a psychologist and a therapist, working for a lot of years in prevention with schools, teachers, students, and professionals, primary and secondary, and now tertiary. So I will try to give you also a more psychological substrate of the digital first, while going through the competencies and the transversal nature of this approach, which is more than needed today nowadays in the classrooms of today. I will share my presentation. Okay. Here we are going to talk about the dual focus of the digital, of the ICT teachers in this digital first era, where we are going to see how we empower educators to integrate digital competencies across disciplines. This is the main thing, that we have to do it across disciplines. So we are talking about a dual focus. The context, it's a digital challenge for teachers, because the teachers have to prepare students for a fast changing and constantly changing digital present and future. Sometimes students are already there, as we say, they are more developed than us, or we sometimes, not always, some students are better, some others are not, or behind. And also this creates another challenge. Teachers, where are they? There is a need to balance ICT skills with pedagogy, which anyway it's part of the task of a teacher. Can we really? We have to adapt to diverse contexts and access levels. How do we do that? We are talking about uneven resources. For example, a lot of people may not have access to Wi-Fi, to good PCs or very small areas, or with a lot of noise, etc., etc. Not everybody has his own PC in his room, and or everybody's all students are with clear mind to work on this level. And the role of the teacher, although is a pivotal on a psychological or psychoanalytic view, is highly devalued or unknown. You know, a lot of people don't know that teachers now always have been an extension of parents, especially in the primary, but also in the secondary school, meaning that there's a transition between family and adulthood. And a lot of times, teachers experience a lot of projections that the feelings that the students have for their parents or to them, which is sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. But this is happening always. It's like that. So the role of the teacher has never been not important, given also that the students have a lot of other sources of information, but this psychological coverage is not given by anybody. Here we have the difference in internet speed in different countries. The core message of the digital first is that the teachers are not merely conveyors of knowledge, but the pivotal enablers who can transform digital competence into genuine digital empowerment. The framework is the 6 areas of digital competence. Focus is linking pedagogy and technology. So where we focus is how we define and build teacher competencies and pedagogic growth at the same time. The life of the teacher becomes more and more demanding these days. What is the main pedagogic professional task, competence, and quality of a teacher? The very first is to have and keep the desire to learn. As a famous Italian psychoanalyst Massimo Carcati says, the important is to have a desire to teach and to transmit this desire to his or her students. For ICT teachers, there is a plus and a minus. The minus is that the kids are very often not focusing very much. They have very disrupted attention, or they think they know it all, or the images are more important than the teacher, all these things. On the other hand, in case a teacher is really knowing how to do this job, to use the technology, he can really be very interesting for the students to keep their attention. I mean, also we have to accept our limits to keep on learning, because a lot of times we don't know a lot of materials that exist, and the more we learn, the more able we are able to handle this across disciplines. And also to keep, as I say, our hierarchical status, because no matter what we say, a teacher is a teacher and a student is a student. And as teachers, we are meant to teach, okay, and to teach also life, to teach the ICT and to teach life. So this, by technology, is being taken a little bit, and also by society, I'm afraid, and I think it's across cultures and across countries, this element. So that in a way, the using a more functional way of using the ICT competencies, it is as if it reinstates our hierarchical status as teachers. And I think this is very important. And this adds to the mental health of students who are in need of having someone to contain them. I think this is very important. And using the technology across disciplines give a great advantage to the teachers. In the different areas, professional engagement is the first one of digital first. The importance is to enhance digital communication and collaboration using different platforms, Padlet, Jamboard, interactive quizzes, Kahoot. We can combine research, media, and reflection, for example, in order to teach a specific subject. We can use reflective practices. It's very important, this part, the reflective practices, because that's how also kids learn. And we can use, for example, a new digital approach per term. I remember, for example, my son has just finished school. Some years ago, he had a very brilliant teacher who was a technology teacher, by the way, who had taught the students also how to give feedback. They have taught them how to give feedback, and then they gave feedback. So they were able to evaluate him, but they didn't know so far. So the other thing is that they had to do things separately and then as a group, so much that our son wanted to be away for some time, and we had to keep on collecting the data because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to finish the project. So he was highly involved personally and also collaboratively. As a second area, it's digital resources. We are able to select and curate digital materials, which means we have to learn about these materials to create and adapt content according to the needs, the level, the variety, the level of attention, or the special educational needs of students we have, and managing and sharing resources responsibly. In the third area, teaching and learning, we can integrate digital tools to enhance pedagogy. For example, guiding, like the example I gave you, collaborative and self-regulated learning. The students using technology learn how to self-regulate themselves, also in a way become actors, active, what you said in the beginning, active actors of what they learn, and also learn to collaborate, which is one of the main competencies that kids should have in the future in order to be able to work. To encourage creativity and engagement. We first see whom we teach and then start teaching, because it's not just I get in and start teaching. I have to see where I stand and where the others stand. So I can match what I can teach with the level and the interest, because a lot of times when kids do not relate, they switch off. They switch off anyway. So we have to create desire, but they switch off even more if we are not there to match their level with what we teach. And we have always to put a baseline. What are the competencies students already have? As you said very well, that students now have a lot of competencies regarding ICT. Another area of assessment is using digital tools for formative feedback, collecting and analyzing evidence of learning, and supporting reflective planning. Begin with easy tools, short quizzes, or recorded feedback, and teach them how to do it, because they don't know. They think they know, they don't. It's our job to teach them. In the areas 5 and 6, it's empowering learners and facilitating digital competence, ensuring accessibility and inclusion. Make sure, okay, this is also a matter of policy making, of course, but I guess as teachers we can do something about that. Ensuring accessibility and inclusion, fostering digital citizenship and ethics, because ethics is important more than ever, because I think students nowadays do not have the touch, the feel of what ethics mean. And we have to, apart from the other things, teach them this. Promoting creativity, problem solving, and responsible use, which are the sine qua non. We cannot be without that in the future, in the present and in the future. Focus on student experience and the teacher's role as a facilitator of digital citizenship and co-learning. And teach the students to have responsible, ethical, and critical use of technology according to the EU's Digital Education Action Plan 2021-2027. So we have to see digital competence as a journey, not as a checklist. Sometimes it's a checklist also, but mainly it's a journey. We shouldn't forget that teachers are architects of digital learning environments. You are going to create the environment, architects. The same way parents are the architects of families, the same way teachers are the architects of learning environments. The better designed the environment is, the fewer problems are going to come, the more compliance you will have, the more active participation you have, exactly like in a family. Pedagogic vision revisited. We have to revisit again the pedagogic vision. We might forget. I don't believe all teachers have this pedagogic vision, I believe, but sometimes we lose it because we have so many things to do that we forget. We have to revisit the pedagogic vision of the profession. Empowerment through mentorship. Empowerment through mentorship for students and for teachers as well. Trust, inclusion, and reflection. We have to do this for our students, but also we have to have ourselves. We have to be supported into doing that because we are asked the sky and the moon of teachers. How are they going to do these things? You need support for this. And we have to move from digital competence to digital empowerment. So the changes have to be in policy making. For example, making Wi-Fi accessible everywhere, that's one thing, or giving PCs to everybody, or giving, well, we also have the AI, which I didn't mention today, but this is also part of it, to be accessible and also to be taught how to use it responsibly and innovatively. We have to do teacher empowerment and the spark of desire, because sometimes we lose desire, everybody does, so we have to keep on doing that. We have to keep on desiring being teachers. Teacher know-how transversally, how to know through different disciplines to have a know-how. On listening to the students, we have to listen to the students. A lot of times they tell us and we don't. We tend to just tell them, but this is not the case. We have to create a change of mindset, not only ICT, not only pedagogy, but merging beautifully both to meet successfully the spirit and reality of the time, to be more functional, as you say. Most importantly, to win emotionally our students so as to succeed in teaching them. If we win them emotionally, we can do a lot of things with them. Definitely be successful in what we teach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aimilia. And we can now continue with Špela's presentation as well, if there aren't any questions at the moment. Also, again, feel free to write in the comments as well if you have something to add, and we can go through them later on. Špela, here you go.
Thank you. So hello from my side as well. What we are going to present also today is some examples that we have collected regarding how to use the functional approach in teaching informatics for primary schools. So this is, we wanted to be as practical as possible so you gain some ideas. For informatics, since it's at one level, so this is the primary school from first to, in Slovenia, it's 5th grade of elementary school. We are talking about introducing topics which are data and information, algorithms, programming, computer systems, digital creativity and design, modeling and simulation, privacy, safety and security, artificial intelligence, and also, last but not least, computational thinking. As Dorotea already mentioned, computational thinking is really key to this stage for the primary school. Okay, so what I'm going to do is introduce some examples of what of activities that can be used in ESTSET 1 level, and also try to connect it with functional approach that this project is dealing with. So the holidays functions were used, and we have few examples of how they can be connected to teaching informatics at this stage. So the first example is from data and information topic. And one of the activities that can be conducted in class is favorite after-school activities. Students log how many minutes they use for different kind of after-school activities, and they monitor this, for example, for 3 days. And then in class, they group the activities into different categories, calculate total time spent per category, and create a visual representation on paper or in simple digital tool to see how their time was spent. They have to interpret the results by asking which activities take the most time, what are their afternoons balanced or not, would they like to change anything. So they have to think about and it's interdisciplinary topic, so it's not just computer science or informatics, is actually related to their real life. So the examples are more, they can connect to them easier. The functions used here were heuristic function, instrumental function, and representational function. So students need to explore and interpret patterns of their daily routines. They record the time and create the representations, and also present the collected data, which is interesting for them, hopefully. Then we have another topic. This is algorithms. This is something that we easier connect to informatics. So this example is about a robot on the map. Students draw a simple map where a robot must follow a set of steps to reach a goal. For example, it needs to deliver a package. They create a path and write clear step-by-step instructions for the robot. They can use arrows or different cards. They work in pairs, follow each other's instructions to test the algorithm and revise it if needed. So they learn about debugging as well as putting a sequence in this stage. The functions used here are imaginative functions because the students design a playful robot scenario with a goal and a visual path. And they use also instrumental function as they build and test step-by-step instruction using cards or block-based programming tools. Another example for algorithms is treasure hunt with conditionals. So this is a bit more advanced example from the previous one. Teachers set up a classroom treasure hunt with a set of conditional instructions and students follow the instructions to reach the treasure. Afterwards, they discuss how conditions change the flow of an algorithm and how similar logic is used in digital games. The functions used here are heuristic function, instrumental function, and imaginative function. So we see that in different scenarios, we can actually connect them with different functions, not just one for each scenario, but it can be interconnected. The next example is from programming. And in this time, we use the unplugged robot commands. So in pairs, again, students, one student is a robot and the other one is the so-called programmer. The programmer gives instructions step by step, and the other one actually follows them. The teacher can introduce loops here as well for repeated actions and also the conditionals. So students can more easily see what is going on and can connect to this later when they try to program something. The functions used here are the heuristic function, instrumental function, regulatory function, and representational function. And when we talk about representational function here, it's about the verbal or written instruction that represent the program code in this case. So it's different representation than in the other cases. Okay. And also here is the regulatory function as they follow and adapt rules to ensure the robot completes the task. Another example is also from programming to create an animated story. So students can also use not just unplugged methods, but also the digital tools like Scratch Junior or Scratch to create a short animation or a simple story, such as a cat that goes to the park. They can program a character to move, speak, react to, and using sequences, loops, conditionals. And after programming, they present their animations to the class and explain which programming blocks were used. So they need to think about what they were doing and how it influences the story. So it's here we have heuristic function, instrumental function, representational function, and imaginative function. And imaginative function is the one that I'm going to say to emphasize here, because I think that it's important that students use their creativity and originality so that the story becomes more interesting for them as well. The next topic is related to computing systems and everyday use of computer. So here students present examples of tasks for which they use computers and present which input and output devices they need for each task. So they come from their everyday life and connect the things they are learning with what they have experienced already. And in this case, we are using the representational function. The next topic is digital creativity and design. So creating digital artifacts. In pair, students design a digital poster or a short animation, introducing an imaginary animal, for example, and they describe its special features, habitat, and favorite food using images, text, and sound. They use their imagination, so it's imaginative function here, and interactional function also, as they collaborate, discuss, and co-create in pairs. Another example is design thinking with digital prototypes. So students identify a classroom project, a problem. So, for example, lost item or something else, and use design thinking steps, which means to emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. They create digital mockups, apps, posters, or interactive boards to propose solutions. And here we use the heuristic functions as they explore problem solving through cycles of testing and improvement, learning by designing solutions iteratively. Another topic that is covered in ISTSET 1 is also modeling and simulation. For example, they can create an automatic plant watering model. It sounds more complex than it actually can be. So students create a simple simulation of an automatic plant watering system. They attach a moisture sensor to the microbit or simulate moisture levels using button inputs. The microbit displays a water droplet icon when the soil is dry, so it needs to be watered, and a happy plant icon when it's moist. And then they can also add a buzzer to signal when watering is needed and discuss how similar systems work in agriculture. Here we use the regulatory function, instrumental function, and imaginative function. Then the topic that was also marked as quite important, it's privacy, safety, and security. In this case, we are talking about what is private and what is public. Students play a sorting game where they receive cards showing different types of information, e.g. a photo of a pet, home address, favorite food, and so on. And they need to decide for each of these examples what is safe to publish online and what should be kept private. They learn about safety on the internet and how to regulate things. So it's regulatory function, instrumental function, as they are classifying and sorting information, and also personal function because they really need to understand the privacy concept. We have another example from this topic, so it's respectful chat simulation. In small group students role play an online group chat scenario with prepared message cards. Some messages show positive, respectful behavior, while others show inappropriate or unsafe communication. Students sort the messages into respectful and needs improvement categories, then rewrite the unsafe messages to make them appropriate. It's a personal function. They need to reflect on how online tone and language affects others. It's a regulatory function, or students need to apply safe and respectful online communication, and it's instrumental and imaginative function here as well. There is another one that I really liked from the examples we have gathered. So it's Escape the Hacker. The classroom is set up as a digital escape room where students must solve a series of password-related challenges to lock out a fictional hacker. Each challenge teaches an aspect of password safety, decoding a weak password to see why it's unsafe, and rearranging mixed up characters to form a stronger password, identifying phishing messages that try to steal passwords as well. And teams must complete all tasks to escape from the escape room. And in the end, they create a strong password rulebook so they can actually use this knowledge in their everyday life. Here we have 5 functions that are related to this. So heuristic function, instrumental function, interactional function, regulatory function, and also imaginative function. There is also artificial intelligence that was mentioned as a topic. And one of the simple tasks is to teach the robot and show a student how different pictures can be sorted or identified. And we have a student who shows different pictures, for example, 2 different categories. So it's cats or dogs, and a robot teacher who is themselves or a classmate, and help it learn to tell apart which picture show the dog and which picture show the cat with yes/no feedback. And this way we simulate how artificial intelligence is learning. We have heuristic function and instrumental function here. And the last example I have is computational thinking. So it's mystery pattern detectives task. The teacher gives students a series of mystery cards with shapes, numbers, or symbols that follow hidden patterns. Working in small groups, students identify the pattern, predict the next item, and explain their reasoning. So they need to explain it. They can create their own pattern sequences for another group to solve. And here we have also a heuristic function, interactional function, instrumental function, and representational function to mention. As you have seen in all these 14 examples, we have been using different functions by Halliday, and all of the 7 functions were actually covered. Okay. Do you have any feedback or time for questions, I guess? Okay.
Thank you, Špela.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry for interrupting you. Thank you so much. Yes, if there is anyone that would like to add something on this, to comment, to ask questions, now would be the perfect time. I would like, in the meantime, when we're waiting, in case you have something that you would like to type, or you can just raise a hand virtually, I would like to thank both of our speakers today, to Aimilia and to Špela. We really hope that it was something interesting for you to hear and something new, that it was useful and inspirative, that you could also look into the informatics teaching in another way. So this was the aim of the webinar itself. We hope it wasn't too much information for everyone. And if there is no one that would like to ask any question or leave a comment, I think we can. Yes.
Can I just? Yeah, sorry.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to say that these examples were not just done by me and my team, and I would really like to thank everybody from the Digital First Consortium who helped to provide the really useful examples.
Thank you. Yes, this is all of the things that we do. It's a collaborative work that we try to make it all in the best possible way, because it's from different countries and experiences, lots of examples that you could hear, and we hope that you will also use them in your future work as well, or maybe you're already using it, but you weren't aware about these functions that were within it as well. Okay, I wouldn't like to take more of your time. If there aren't any questions, I would like to thank you once again for joining us today. We will have similar topics covered in the next months, again related to the function. So if you would like to hear more on this, please follow us and continue following everything that we do, because it's going to be more of this. Thank you so much. Digital